Do you want to get unstuck from the ways that your challenging inner voices hold you hostage and limit you? By the end of this video, you will have discovered how to use a powerful journal exercise to track your inner voices and begin to break the spell of being held hostage by them. For practical navigation on how to go forward in your transformation journey and live more into your full potential, subscribe to this channel. Press the bell to be notified when a new video comes up every Tuesday. Hi there, I'm Sheila Belanger, a strategic transformation coach, and I am passionate about helping people break the spells of their limiting mindsets and their wounded inner figures and voices so they can move forward fully into their potential. This is a time when the world needs us to be more radically authentic and who we are. I have over 35 years of helping grateful students and clients make deep changes to be who they really are and live into their potential. Just last week, one of my students, a man in his 60s who has been working for 30 plus years in a business organization, is getting ready to retire, and his deepest dream is to start a healing practice. And he used this technique with the journal prompts to help him move forward when one of his inner voices was freaking out and wanted to tell him, no, don't bother, stay safe, don't go after that big dream. It worked for him and it can work for you. So now it's your turn to check out these journal prompts and see how they can help you make some steps to break the spells of your challenging inner voices. Let's explore a journal exercise to track your inner voices and get unstuck from their limiting mindsets. You can feel so trapped by how some of your inner voices hold you hostage when you're at the edge of inner changes. Now, inner edges are challenging because at these edges, you know that your old life and identities are over, but you do not yet know who you are becoming nor where you're going. Personal inner edges are challenging, and we are in huge collective edges now. We don't know where we're going. You need a way to track your wounded inner voices so you can get unstuck from their limiting mindsets and move forward in your life. One very great resource is the Transformation Journey Roadmap. I created this as a guide to navigate your edges of change. It's a 6-stage journey that takes you in deeper circles of inner work to really become more authentic and take care of and compassionately steward the parts of you that want to sabotage you. The Transformation Journey Roadmap is especially designed for those who are ready to commit to effective inner work practices of self-healing, cultivating your innate wholeness, and apprenticing to your visionary and intuitive nature. It's particularly helpful for those of you who self-identify as sensitive, empathetic, intuitive, having an awareness of something beyond consensus reality, feeling the vibes of things. Is that you? If so, stay tuned. And even if it's not, you're still going to find these journal prompts and the exercise helpful. So let's explore stage 1 of the Transformation Journey Roadmap to help you begin to track your limiting inner voices. So stage 1, track your inner figures. Understand how key inner figures contribute to your habitual limitations. You got to sniff it out, people. You got to watch what's going on with these inner figures. Your wounded inner figures or voices, you could call them either one, inner voices, inner figures, get twisted up with mental fear, anxiety, and painful stories from your past. Your wounded inner voices usually try to control you with restrictive self-talk, punitive inner mantras, and dramatic fear stories. Their main territory of control is in your strategic mind. Now, your strategic mind is a primitive, binary-focused part of you that tries to keep you safe from danger. It's constantly assessing your life situations. Stop, go, yes, no, good, bad, etc. Now, this is an essential part of you. Please don't think I'm saying it's not appropriate. The problem is it's taken over for most of us. And it's important to be able to make a judgment, don't run a red light, or take care of yourself in a winter storm. But you know what? Binary is for computers, and you are a multidimensional being. And it's important that your strategic mind is not the one who's driving the bus all the time. Self-reflection and self-tracking are key practices to stop from being held hostage by your limiting inner voices. So in stage 1 of the Transformation Journey Roadmap, you compassionately track your inner wounded figures who habitually limit you and sabotage your ability to change and grow. You got to keep your eye on them because you are so much more than you think you are. You're much more than your strategic mind. You are a multidimensional being. You have 4 primary intelligences. Many you have, but these are really key. Your senses, the wisdom of your gut, your body, what your gut knows. Feelings, the wisdom of your heart, what your emotions tell you, your emotional intelligence, your imagination, your ability to dream and vision, and your mental intelligence. Now, usually in our dominant Western culture, the mental intelligence is the main one that we focus on. We're trained to use it, and we don't activate the other 3 key primary intelligences of senses, feelings, and imagination. We even denigrate them like, oh, it's just your imagination, you're just making it up. Imagination is a huge part of your creativity and your intuition. Your feelings keep you real, and your senses keep you embodied. So I'm curious, which of the 4 intelligences do you most relate with? Go ahead and make a comment below so we can track with each other. Most of us are going to say the mental intelligence is the one most developed, but you may have a way of being connected to the other 3, the senses, the feelings, or the imagination. So go ahead and make a comment. Which one are you more connected with? So hopefully you're open to developing all 4 of your primary intelligences. Now let's use journal prompts with your 4 intelligences to track a primary wounded inner figure. Susan Sontag says, in the journal, I do not just express myself more openly than I could to any person. I create myself. Journaling is a potent way for you to restore yourself, to listen to your own wisdom, to reflect on what's really going on for you, and most important of all, to compassionately bear witness to the truth of what's happening for you. So the self-tracking journal exercise I'm about to give you is a way to track a key limiting inner voice using your 4 primary intelligences. I'll be giving you 4 journal prompts. One has to do with inner phrases, comments, and stories from your inner voice. That's the mental level. Body gestures that show up, that's the sense level. Emotions and feelings that arise, the feeling emotional level. And imagination that can help you. Now, as you're listening to this video, you're welcome to pause at each journal prompt and actually do the journal exercise. You also can just watch the video. At the end of the video and in the description below, you can get a link to download a PDF with these journal prompts. So to begin, identify a primary wounded inner voice that you want to track using the self-tracking journal exercise. Now, if you're like me, you have a whole bunch of them, and you might be saying, Sheila, how can I pick just one? Actually take a moment and breathe, close your eyes, and just like, who is most up? Who is a wounded inner voice that is kind of constantly there or is really open and working out on you right now? Just identify that, because you want to do this one at a time. You can always go back and do the journal exercise with another inner voice, but just pick one. Identify that primary wounded inner voice. So here's self-tracking journal prompt number 1. What key phrases or sentences does this primary wounded inner voice use to limit you? And it's usually pretty common that some of our inner voices that want to limit us, they have a set of phrases like, who do you think you are? You can't do that. That'll never work. Oh God, what would others say? And so forth. You've got your own, but take a moment and write down what key phrases or sentences does this primary wounded inner voice repetitively whisper in your ear. And again, stop the video at this moment if you want. I'm going to keep going. Self-tracking journal prompt number 2. What emotions get evoked with those phrases? You want to begin to track how those mental transmissions from your inner voice activate some feelings in you. One way to respond to this prompt is to very gently and slowly say the phrase you identified or phrases you identified in the first prompt, and notice what emotions arise in you. sadness, anxiety. You might be pissed. You might be overwhelmed. You might be sad. Just be honest with yourself. What happens? What emotions get evoked with those phrases? Journal prompt number 3. What body posture or sensation is connected with this primary wounded inner voice? And what I mean by that prompt is, as you're exploring the words and phrases, the mental level, you're noticing the emotions that arise, the feeling level. You might also track your body. What's happening? Is your body collapsing on itself? Are your shoulders down? Is your chin down? Is there kind of a tightness in your body someplace? Track body postures or sensations that come forward in you when this primary wounded inner voice is up with phrases or emotions or both. And then final journal prompt number 4, how do you imagine this primary wounded inner voice looks? This is really important. This is how you get a bead on this one. Just close it with your eyes closed. Just imagine you have the phrases, you have the feelings evoked, you got a little bit of a body posture in. What does this character look like? It might be a cartoon figure, it might just be a blob, it might be a color, it might actually take on the form of someone in your past from whom this one really originated, like a critical parent or a punitive teacher or somebody in your life. It's not about blaming anyone, but just notice, what do they look like? What does that inner voice look like? Give it an image, because you can track it better if you can imagine what this one looks like. And you might sketch it if you're doing the journal prompt right now. You might sketch it. Okay, so having done these 4 journal prompts, reflect on any discoveries you've made about how to track this inner voice when they try to limit you. This is really important. In our crazy, busy world, you can just quickly go through these journal prompts and move on. Please don't do that. Please take the time to reflect on what you discovered through these journaling exercise. Even if you take 5 minutes, reread it and just reflect, okay, what did I discover about this? And discover about this particular inner voice. So to get unstuck from their limiting moves, keep practicing this self-tracking exercise so you can stay aware and make conscious choices to not get trapped. This is usually not a one-time deal. For some people it is, but do it a couple times, even with the same inner voice, and start really tracking their moves. Get wise. This is how they limit me. This is how they put a spell on me. So that next time you track their limiting moves happening, you can stop and breathe and tell them directly, I see you and I'm not going to take the bait. Remain a free fish and swim away. Just say no. Don't want that bait. Jan Chosen Bays says, as long as our habit patterns are hidden backstage, they will remain unchanged. As soon as we bring them up onto the stage of our mind and shine the spotlight of awareness on them, they will inevitably change. This is the power of this self-tracking exercise with your inner voice. Shine the light on what they're up to so that you can change the pattern of being limited. So get yourself unstuck. Do this self-tracking exercise using the 4 journal prompts. The link for the journal prompts is below in the description. When you click on that link, you'll be taken to a page where you can sign in and give me information so I can send you the 4 journal prompts. You'll have them as a downloadable PDF, and then they're there. Again, you can use them at any time. You can use them for many of your inner voices because we have a whole guest house, all of us. And keep aware of those moves. Be the fish who swims away from the bait.